the Honda HR-V. Now this is a bit of an oxymoron car because it's a big, small SUV and it's got this really cool feature. Now you're probably wondering how the heck I managed to get round here so quickly. Well, there's something really clever on this car, which if you know Hondas, you probably know already. If you don't, well, it's not the fact that these doors open really wide, which they do. If you follow me, you'll see that the seat bases actually flip up, which allows you to carry large objects here in the back of the car if you want to. Now, Honda calls these seats its magic seats. And, well, what are they like to sit on? Well, you do notice that in the back you do have lots of knee room and, well, the floor's pretty flat as well. However, if you sit up straight or if you're tall, there isn't much headroom. People over 6 foot are going to find it a bit squashed back here. Kids will love it though because you've got huge windows and it does on the whole feel quite spacious. It's not very good though, this car, for carrying 3 abreast. Part of the reason is this central seat is pretty high. There we go, look at that. No, it's not good at all. And if you really want to see what it's like with 3 people in the back of this car, just click up there on the card to watch that in-depth practicality video. You'll also be able to see what it's like to fit a baby seat in the back of here and just how much stuff you can fit in the boot. Now, I'll summarise now for you because this HR-V has one of the biggest boots, if not the biggest boot in its class. It is huge. Have a look at that. You've got loads and loads of space there. It's a very big square shape. If you need to carry bigger items, of course, you can fold down the seats, which is pretty easy to do. And then you have a flat load floor. Minor issue is that you do have a bit of a load lip here. It's not very big though. You've got these scuff plates which you can slide things over, and the actual load height itself is pretty low, which does help out. And if you need to hide some things away, you can store them in this large underfloor storage area too. So yeah, this car it's rather practical actually, and it's quite a good looking thing as well. You know, the design really does stand out. It's very distinctive. Probably doesn't stand out as well as it could do in this grey paint, but it's definitely quite a stylish car, and this thing continues inside. So I really like Honda's cabins of late. They're very, very distinctive. Now there are a few cheap feeling bits of plastic, but actually the stuff that you really touch, you don't touch up there, do you? It all feels high quality, though I don't know what they were thinking about with these vents. They're a bit like what you get on an Audi A4, but it just doesn't work really. I do like the look of this touch sensitive control panel. The problem is though, in reality, you'd have to take your eyes off the road for a bit longer because you can't actually feel any buttons. This is the range stopping version. You don't need this. Get the model below, the SE, and it's got all you really need. You get dual zone climate control, not just simple air conditioning. You get all round parking sensors and automatic windscreen wipers and headlamps. And yeah, it's a nice car to be in general. I'm not so keen though on this infotainment system. It's all just a bit confusing to use. I've no idea what's going on. So yeah, whatever. You can actually see our full in-depth review of it by clicking up there on the card. You can also have another good look around this car's cabin and then have a look at its cubby spaces, which, well, they're all right. They're not brilliant, but you can just about squeeze a large bottle into the door bin, and you do have some extra storage down here, which is probably where you'll forget where you left your mobile phone.
So the Honda HR-V may not have the best tech in the world, but how does it feel to drive?
Now, one of the things that I like about Hondas is that they always manage to inject a little bit of fun into their cars, and it's the same with this HR-V. So all the controls have a nice feel to them, the steering, the pedals, and the manual gearbox. In fact, the manual gearbox in this HR-V is lovely. On the whole, this is quite a nice car to drive. It errs more on the side of comfort than handling, but that's perfectly fine for this type of car. The only thing I notice is that, well, I guess it does feel a little bit fidgety on broken surfaces, and when you're going at speed you do get quite a bit of tyre roll, but on the whole this is a nice, easy, comfy car to travel in. You get the HR-V with either a 1.6 litre diesel engine or the 1.5 litre petrol, which is in this car, and that's the engine that I'd recommend for most people most of the time, unless you're doing lots of miles. What I wouldn't recommend is this automatic gearbox. It's a CVT, which stands for constantly variable transmission, but in this case it should actually mean constantly vocal transmission, because when you put your foot down you get this noise. It's almost like a cow's dying last moo. There is the option to use this gearbox like a normal automatic gearbox with step changes, but it never feels like a normal auto. It's pretty horrible. Do not get the automatic. When mated to this engine, this 1.5 litre petrol, it should do 52 miles per gallon, but the trip computer says I'm averaging 38, which isn't quite as good as I expected really. Still, it does make this car easy to drive around town, not having to change gears. And on the whole, visibility is good and that helps for manoeuvring in traffic. The only problem I really have with the visibility is that big fat rear pillar. Now if you click up there, you can have another good look around this car in my 360-degree video, and it's almost like you're sat in here with me.
There are a few annoying things about the HR-V. Here's 5 of them.
There are some annoying blank screens on the infotainment system, and you get all lost going, where are all the functions? There may be loads of underfloor storage space, but you can't quite fit the parcel shelf under there. Annoying. Honda doesn't call the button for the cruise control cruise, because that'd be too obvious. They call it main. If you're not careful, this car can get pretty expensive. This one is £26,000. There's this weird mesh here on the steering wheel, and I really don't know why.
Thankfully, it's not all bad though. Here are 5 cool features you get with the HR-V.
I love the way the dials appear all ghost-like when you turn the ignition on. Kids will love the cool SUV-style running boards because then they'll be able to pretend that they're Secret Service agents.
Yeah, everything's safe here.
The car has a clever configurable cup holder system. I mean, look at that, it's cool. Smooth panels underneath the car help reduce drag to improve fuel efficiency. You can get a wipe clean boot liner, perfect if you've got a dirty dog or a hostage that might bleed out. So then, overall, what to think of the Honda HR-V? Well, the automatic gearbox isn't very nice, and the car is a bit noisy at speed. But other than that, it's generally very nice to drive. Plus, with those magic seats and the big boot, it's extremely practical. Now, if you click up there, you can get more information and find out the best deal you can get on a Honda HR-V at carwow.co.uk. Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. And if you click on the video windows, you can watch the in-depth practicality, infotainment and 360-degree passenger eye video for the Honda HR-V.